So Junqueira relinquishes the second position to make his first green flag pit stop. Speaking of the option tire, a little bit closer examination of what it is and what it is designed to do throughout the 2004 Champ Car Series and our Bridgestone Passion for Excellence. About this tire and how it will work in...
It's historically been difficult to pass on street courses, but we've been working with Bridgestone tires and in conjunction with Champ Car, come up with a new concept which we believe will lead to better overtaking possibilities.
That's the word from Al Spire from Bridgestone about the option tire being utilized throughout the season. Was Patrick Carpentier that just passed by. Here he comes. Sandwiched between the two Herdez cars. Ryan Hunter-Reay and Mario Dominguez. There is Carpentier, 32-year-old driver from Quebec, Canada.
He was Paul Tracy's teammate last year on the Players Foresight team. Thought he was again this year. About a few days before the press preview, he got notification that Rodolfo Levine was going to be Paul's teammate and that he was just being retained on kind of a as-needed basis, which was not what he wanted to hear. But that got reversed fairly quickly thereafter, where Jerry Forsyth stepped up and said, we're going to run 3 cars, a third one for Patrick, in addition to the 2 for Paul and Rodolfo.
Carpentier has won at least 1 race in each of the last 3 seasons. His most recent win was at Laguna Seca last year.
The characteristic of Patrick, it seems like when he is on, and it's generally at a fast sweeping type course, places like Portland, Mid-Ohio, Cleveland, Laguna Seca, when he is on, he's almost unbeatable. But those times have been few and far between during the season, and I can't put my finger on why he can't keep that form all the time. But even Paul Tracy says when Patrick's on, he says no one can touch him.
And Michel Jourdain making a pit stop. On lap number 27, so he has stretched it to the first window.
Cycle through. It'll be interesting to watch Junqueira. The reason you generally want to go as far as you can before you make that stop, because in the Champ cars, they're not allowed the tire heating blankets that they are in Formula One. So when
another pit stop here is Hunter-Reay making a pit stop, Calvin.
He's in, Bob. He's switching to the primary tire. The car had got loose on him. There's a slight front wing adjustment, less front wing, try and balance the car. He's back underway. His teammate Mario Dominguez getting slightly better mileage. We expect him in 1 lap later.
To explain that loose condition, they were trying to, you saw the crew member turning on the front wing, taking a little bit of front wing out. The front wing pushes the front of the car down. If you have an imbalance, it tends to pivot around it, and the back of the car tends to slide. Oversteer means the car basically is turning more than you want it. The back of the car is sliding first. Understeer is the opposite, where you turn it and the front doesn't bite. So at this point in the day, for him to be struggling with a loose race car, that's not a good trend in Long Beach.
I just had a look at the telemetry on Paul Tracy's pit box here. He has used 12 seconds of push to pass, which he used at the start. Tracy, remember, will be in about 2 laps, and he is going to not use the option tires. He's going to try and use them only at the last stint. Tommy, as you know of conversations with Paul Tracy, he's just not able to get on with those tires as well as other drivers.
And here is Bourdais making a pit stop. We had a report a little bit earlier that he has not used any of his push-to-pass time, Derek.
And what Sebastian Bourdais has done is now put on the faster of the option tires. Newman has Whoa! as he leaves. Newman Haas believes these tires are about 0.2 of a second faster, so he's taken off the regulars and put on the options. Junqueira, incidentally, stopped on lap 25. That still allows him to finish this on just 2 stops.
But to do that, they're going to have to go 28 on each of the next 2 stints, which is clearly possible because Paul Tracy's done it on his opening stint. But as I was explaining, and as Paul Tracy heads to the pit lane.
There he is. Derek, he's headed your way. Tracy in his first pit stop of the day.
They are only making a small change to the front tire pressure. They're raising it to try and give him a tiny bit more grip. They're not sure whether the car understeers or whether the car is understeering because of fluids laid down by Servia. But Tracy, anxious to leave, a good stop, still has not used those option tires yet. Calvin?
And Mario Dominguez is in. He's getting slightly better mileage than his teammate. Good, clean start for the Herdez boys. This team have really got their act together. He's made no chassis adjustment, but he has gone to the option tire. He liked it in qualifying, so he should be in good shape.
What I was trying to point out in terms of stopping early, it'll be interesting to see how far behind Paul Tracy Bruno Junqueira is once Paul gets his tires up to temp. Generally, stopping later gives you a pretty significant advantage. Bruno was only 1.5 seconds behind Paul when he stopped, but by stopping 4 or 5 laps earlier, while Bruno was spending the first couple laps getting his tires up to temperature, Paul was running on a light fuel load with hot tires, putting big distance on Bruno.
Paul Tracy looking good here, about a third of the way through the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Back here in Long Beach as we look at Nelson Philippe, who currently runs in the 12th position. He is a lap down. There are 11 cars on the lead lap, and Paul Tracy is the leader of the race. Now, up until today, Michel Jourdain was the youngest driver to start a Champ Car race back in 1996 when he was 19 years, 6 months, and 12 days. But that record is by the wayside because this young man, Nelson Philippe, 17 years old, making his start today. Let's meet him.
Well, I live in Miami right now, so I'm going to keep living in Miami because I hate cold weather, so I have to be hot all the time. So this is chilly for me. This is my house. Welcome. Let's go inside and I'll show you around. This is the main area where the whole family hangs out. It's pretty comfortable. It's big, very modern. No paintings, no nothing on the walls, just flowers and white walls. Everything at night lights up blue and pink and red and orange and yellow, so it's pretty cool. My dad works a lot and he had to move everywhere around the world, and that kind of opened my mind to many things. And when we moved to Argentina in '98, I got open to auto racing, and that's where I got my start. This is my dog, Gaucho. Woo, Gaucho, bonjour, bonjour. He always wants to go outside. This is the pool. This is very small. We don't use it that often. This is our fleet of jet skis. We have these 4, and then there's the small one on the other side. And we just go out and just go play. Mentally, it might be hard in the beginning just to get used to 18 cars going around the track at 180 miles per hour. Drivers that are in the Champ Car World Series are of high caliber, so I'm sure they'll give me a tough time. But, might as well learn with the big boys. I'm an emotional person, but I think that in auto racing, to succeed, you have to keep a clear head at all times. I'm going to work hard to not be too sensitive to everything that happens, because things are going to happen. What's good is good, what's bad, take experience from it. So I've been working hard to get to this point, and finally it's paying off. I've earned my place in the Champ Car World Series, so it's really a dream becomes reality.
Well,
the youngest driver in Champ Car history, just made his first pit stop, and it was flawless. They rev limit these things without that boost button at 12 grand. He was using every one when he left his pit stall. Big rubber on the way out. I spoke to Robin Hill. I said, how's he doing? He said, excellent, really good first opening stint. I said, how is his fitness? He said he is really in good shape. We've done some long runs in testing. We've had limited testing, about 5 days. For the long runs we've done, he keeps up a really good pace. Good performance by that young man today.
The Rocket Sports driver whose age matches his number on the car, 17 again. He runs in the 12th position. There is the man who is leading and who, in fact, has led all the way so far as 35 laps have been completed. Paul Tracy by about 3.5 seconds over Bruno Junqueira and by about 10.5 seconds over Alex Tagliani.